Let's get right to business. Here are 10 more mods for Fallout 4 on the PS4 as of March 23, 2024. A link to my other list of 25 mods should be in the description. I thank the mod makers for their fine work. Let's begin. Today's first entry will be Smores, recommended to me by another YouTuber named Spooner D. We're here at the castle as Nia and Mary get their push-ups in for the day. Anyway, in my not-so-humble opinion, this is the most important mod in today's list of 10, if you play primarily to build settlements. As you'll see here, this mod gives you a vast array of new floors, walls, stairs, rails, and furniture to work with in its own section of the build menu labeled S'mores. Before we go on, please note this mod conflicts directly with both USO and OC Decorator, so while both can be saved in one settlement, while editing they can only be built with one at a time, depending on S'mores' position in the load order. To re-enable USO and OC Decorator, put S'mores higher up in the load order. Now we're on my Brotherhood base on Spectacle Island, showcasing some of the much cleaner textures, with intact glass that I've used for the barracks here, labeled Hut 1 and Hut 2, as well as decorative planters and sturdier railings and stairs befitting a harbor setting. Hopefully seeing the relative luxury afforded to Brotherhood soldiers motivates you to use this mod, as I have with a few of my own builds so far. Today's second entry will be Wasteland Warlord Settlement Objects Unlocked. This mod is incredibly useful if you want to build Raider-themed settlements. You'll be able to build Raider-themed shops, crafting stations, furniture, and all the sharp, rusty, tetanus-carrying spiky shit you could ever want in its own section of the build menu labeled Raider. Note, you will need the Nuka World and Automatron DLCs for this mod to work. But what makes this mod a must-have is that you don't need to do anything at all for the Nuka World Raiders to enable this mod. You don't need to chain up a previous settlement, and you can go full-on open season on the Nuka World Raiders, and all of the build items from the Pack, the Operators, and the Disciples, as well as the Rust Devils, will be enabled for use in your settlements. Today's third entry will be Unrestricted Settlements. If you want to build self-sustaining settlements and have a full build menu at Boston Airport or the Mechanist's Lair, you'll need this mod. What it does is simple. It enables the building of food and water production items at these locations. Yeah. My build here at Boston Airport is an example of this mod at work, with Brotherhood laborers Kira and Matthew working the greenhouse. Today's fourth and fifth entries will be Nordhagen Beach Walls and Already in Nordhagen Beach. Nordhagen Beach Walls is pretty simple. As shown, it provides a set of walls around the settlement. They realistically look like they were crafted from driftwood, old shipping pallets, pieces of old crates, and other assorted junk. I like it because this is exactly the type of wall I imagined for this place, so it saves me a lot of time and size budget for a style I originally planned to have. What Already in Nordhagen Beach does is change the original shack into something quite a bit sturdier, give the crop field a nicer fence, and place an uncharacteristically nice and clean house right on the sand. It looks good, but its position doesn't make sense even in a pre-war setting. Still, it's a good pair of mods if you want your Minutemen general to have a nice beachside retreat. Now, I actually read comments and occasionally take suggestions, so to start the next 5 entries that focus on general gameplay as opposed to settlements, today's 6th entry, Plunder, was suggested by user Nobody Bob. What I see that this mod actually does is provide more scrap items, but in a lore-sensible way, so you'll find more empty bottles and trash bins, more medicine and first aid kits, and more weapons in those end-of-dungeon duffel bags and red crates. The mod description says it does other stuff too, but I haven't seen any of it. Today's 7th entry will be Improved Minutemen Artillery. What this mod does is beef up your Minutemen artillery with a larger blast radius, and it's much more powerful. The quest to acquire artillery must still be completed normally, but once that's done, on the work table inside the castle's armory, you'll find a laser pistol.
We see your smoke, General. Preparing to fire for effect.
This pistol fires the blue signal smoke. Keep in mind, the artillery still takes about 30 seconds to appear, same as without the mod. But once those shells land, you can watch as your Minutemen exert the dominance the plot should have given them. As a small extra addition, the regular signal grenades can be thrown much further too. This barrage normally runs about another 30 seconds.
Ceasing fire. Good luck.
Today's 8th entry, called Behind Enemy Lines, improves the glowing sea. To me, the glowing sea is lifeless, dull, dreary, and boring, which it canonically makes sense that all that would be out there are mosquitoes and scorpions, but from a gameplay perspective, that's whack, and I only go out there if the plot makes me. This mod is a must-have, and adds a greater amount and variety of enemy spawns, so you can watch a mutant behemoth and Mirelurk Queen duke it out, tangle with aliens, some mutant behemoths of your own, or some Nuka Quantum Deathclaws, as opposed to dropping the control because you got so bored you fell asleep. Today's 9th entry will be Cannibal in Concord. It's a quest mod for a new location called Cannibal House near the Speakeasy in Concord. It can be very unsettling and disturbing, as some of the quest exposition is based off real-life serial killer Albert Fish, whose quotes were changed only slightly to match Fallout 4's fictional timeline. I don't want to spoil the story, so I'll mention the gameplay. It's not a high-speed run-and-gun type of mod. It requires attention to detail and actually uses the grab mechanic to find items in a way not seen in the game or any of the official DLCs. There are extremely strict limitations on quest mods for the PS4, but this mod uses them very well. It's a well-crafted mod, but be warned, some of the subject matter is seriously messed up. Last and least for today's 10th entry is Vault Suit Skin Crafting. I wanted to round out the list of 10, so between this and my other video that has 25 listed mods, you got 35 mods to work with, all of which I personally use and am happy with. This mod gives you extra skin, color, and decal options for vault jumpsuits at armor workbenches. They also can be equipped on settlers, as shown here. Hopefully, you find these mods useful. I'm very thankful for the work of these modders. I'm also very thankful for your time. Thank you for viewing.